Woo!
Who's that in the house?
What's up, dude?
Travis Draft.
How's it going?
Damon Zwicker still figuring out our little podcast system here. That was an odd little piece there.
I feel like with this music, I need to like wear these.
You gonna wear your sunglasses the whole time? That's fine with me.
As long as this music's on, I'm gonna keep these on.
That music might be taken directly out of Venice Beach when you first started living back down there in 1994.
4 or 5. Somewhere between 4 and 5. It's a blur. Oh, there goes my music.
Well, you know what that music is?
What?
That was a free track from YouTube.
Oh,
copyright free.
Thank you, YouTube. Thanks, YouTube.
So what's up? We're here with Travis Draft, the one, the only co-creator of BuzzKill. Can I call you that?
Call me whatever you like. Yes. I was the co-creator of BuzzKill.
And that was back in 1994, did we decide? Well, let's tell the people what the podcast is. The podcast is...
This is your first podcast. You should really be introducing yourself before me.
Well, I guess so, but I like to get right into this stuff. I don't like to do a lot of chit-chat about me. But the podcast is called Prankster, the podcast, I guess. But I'm going to just talk to all the professional pranksters who have been paid to prank people for television or parties or whatever. And I'll put myself back up.
Yeah, you should be on you right now.
On here like
this.
There
we go. That looks
switch
good.
That. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring in professional pranksters, people who write, direct, operate camera, audio, actors. I know actors always want to talk about their experience on prank shows because it's probably one of the greatest experiences ever.
Yeah, I think you could bring in anybody, like even the PAs or makeup or anyone. Everybody has a good time on that, doing this stuff.
Yeah. So, so that's what the podcast is.
Cool.
And we're going to have a lot of weird people on for sure. You know a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And today I brought you on because I wanted to bring you on. You are one of what I would say is the original pranksters.
Oh, God.
Would you agree or disagree?
Does that make
I just cut to your manager.
Yeah. Oh, my manager's here too.
Oh, he is.
That's how Hollywood I am.
Let's see if I can.
You have a shot of him.
Manager. The camera's got relabeled. Oh,
there he is.
There he is. Let's take that.
You don't have a graphic for him?
I do. It's actually there.
There he is. That's
guessed. I didn't even know what your manager's name was.
His name's actually Peter.
Oh, nice.
But Peter guessed actually. Guessed. That worked out perfectly.
So, but I wanted to talk to you because you were like ahead of Tom Green, you were ahead of Jamie Kennedy, you were ahead of Spy TV, Scare Tactics, a lot of these
I was
shows.
on all those.
Yeah, I know you were on them, but BuzzKill, which was on MTV back in 1994.
I think it premiered in 96.
Okay.
But we were doing stuff before that. But
you co-created that with two other guys, basically, right? Or were there more?
With Dave Sheridan and Frank Huditz.
Okay.
That was our baby that we all had.
Right. And for people who don't know what that show was, can you tell them?
Mm-hmm. It was almost like a travel show. It was me, Dave, and Frank going around the country and playing characters and filming the whole thing with little hidden cameras that we wore on our bodies. We had some extra camera guys that would shoot also from, hiding behind trees or from vans or whatever we would just come up with different ways to cover the whole thing. But mainly me, Dave, and Frank, we were the camera operators. Like there'd be a camera in this cup and I'd just be filming you the whole time.
Right.
And then Frank would be over there wearing a pair of glasses filming me. So we're just covering the whole scene. And then when he talks, I pan to him, he pans to you, whatever. So we had this whole way where we would just shoot. And we would just play characters and just go mess with people and kind of had sort of like storylines of what each of the characters were about. That, just it unfolded. We would just see what would happen as we just kind of infiltrated little things like beer festivals or hiking tour groups or whatever.
Right.
We just play characters.
So, but can you, because you guys all met, where? Up in Cleveland or somewhere? You were Cleveland or Chicago? You guys all kind of came together in Chicago.
We came together in Chicago. I grew up there as a kid, and I knew Frank since I was 7 years old. And we grew up getting in trouble with each other and racing BMX and living right down the street from each other and whatnot. And then he started in high school. He started going to taking classes there, and then got into some sort of a performance group. And was that Peter again?
Yeah. So
he's just cutting away to Peter.
Just cutting away to Peter.
Cut away to Peter one more time. Look at this.
You're looking for.
Look, Peter looks like he's been kidnapped.
All right, I think we're on the right page because I noticed that you did sit down at the computer before we went, and I said, did you change anything? And it seems like some of the things have actually changed.
What's changed? What are you messing with?
I had the cameras labeled a certain way, and now they're
I
not
didn't
labeled a certain
I didn't
way.
touch any of
So
that.
I'm just trying to figure out kind of what got moved around or changed up.
Blame it on me. Blame it on me. That's all I hit was 1, 2, 3, and just watch the cameras move. That's
so,
it.
well, let's cut to the chase.
All
you
right.
guys met at what? Second City?
Yeah, Frank was working at the Second City, and then I came and I was going to go to film school there, so I started hanging around the Second City because Frank was there, and then I got a job there just like doing co-check and all this basic stuff. And so did Dave. Dave came in, and he was an intern at SNL, and he was told by like Chris Farley and Adam Sandler, like, hey, you should go to Second City and sort of hone your thing. And so Dave was there as an actor. Frank was there as an actor. I was just there kind of like just sort of checking the whole scene out and like learning a lot about comedy. Watching great people like Steve Carell and Steve Colbert and Amy Sedaris all on stage every night was awesome. So I was learning comedy basically. And Dave and I just decided to go out on the streets and shoot him playing characters. And so we would hit the streets of Chicago, and I would just follow him around with the camera. And, anybody that we would interact with, I would just tell them that I'm a documentarian following this guy. Not that he's an actor. So so we had this whole style that we were like kind of working on where we just told character stories and just excused the camera right. Just kind of like how we do in Fameless in a sense. Like you just explain the camera away, and they forget that it's there.
Right.
Whatever. So you just they're putty. You can do whatever you want.
But back in 1991,
this
it wasn't like a small iPhone. It's like a...
Oh, it was a big-ass camera. Yeah, like, a big beta cam that was heavy as hell. So it actually made it look more legit anyway. People thought I was like, something that I wasn't. I was borrowing a camera from a girl that like was using it from her school. I didn't even go to their school, and I was like using this camera. She ran the equipment department. She's totally cool and would hang out with us and like help let us shoot and use all their gear. So, because we didn't have any money back then at all, we were starving.
Right, a video camera at the time cost $1,500.
Oh, who knows?
More
yeah,
than $1,500 is today.
Yeah, I would say even more than $1,500, but yeah, it was a lot.
That is not one of our sponsors right there.
Who, Starbucks?
Yeah, not
no,
one of our sponsors.
Starbucks is not the path to righteousness. So anyway, yeah, we were making our little guerrilla films basically, and then we put it together with a live show. We had a live show that was half film, and then half of it would end on stage, where that character would come out, and we'd just do various different theater pieces. And so we did that, and the owner of Second City, after he saw our live show, asked us if we wanted to do a pilot. And so we had this travel show idea that was us playing characters in a travel show, and it was just an excuse to travel basically. We wanted to just get around. So we made a thing with him where we went and one of the things we did was we traveled to Chicago. We pretended we started like somewhere in like Detroit or whatever. And we traveled to Chicago to see the city of Chicago. And one of the things we did was take in a Bears game. And so I called like the Bears people and was like, hey, I'm shooting a pilot, and it takes place in Chicago, and the characters are all from Chicago, and we'd like to just get a shot of some of our actors standing and cheering in the stands. And they're like, yeah, that sounds fine. So they sent me a press pass so I could go anywhere in the whole stadium. And I think they even gave us 2 tickets or whatever. So we went to the game, and our actors were dressed as Buffalo Bills fans to the nines, like full on face paint, Zubaz pants, mustaches, drinking tons of beer. And one of the guys, which was Dave, had the O.J. Simpson jersey on. And it was like the first game that fall, right after the O.J. Simpson, drove down the 405 thing. It was very fresh.
Yeah.
So Chicago fans hate you if you're not from Chicago. They forget they're human. They will just kill you. And we just got so many people riled up because they were just standing and cheering for the Bills, and the Bills weren't even doing anything. They'd just be like, let's go, Bills! Let's go, Bills! Like right in the middle of Chicago. There really was no Bills section, but they're right in the middle of the Chicago section.
Right.
And basically, it just got everybody around us pissed off. I'm sitting there filming it with the glasses cam the whole time. And back then, all the gear was way bigger than it is now. Now you can just wear a glasses cam, and it's inside the glasses.
Right.
It's no wires, no nothing.
Yeah.
Back then, you had a big cable going down your back. You had to plug it into a Hi8 camera, which was then had to be strapped to my body. And I had a little mixer taking each of the actors' mics that I ran. I could control through the mixer and record onto the Hi8 deck. And it was just crazy. I was totally strapped.
You were a one-man band of camera, audio,
and
director, basically.
Yeah, I was wearing one of those Home Depot kind of back braces. So I had that, and then I had a strap strapping everything to that.
Yeah.
And then a big coat over that, and then these glasses that when you wear them, if you're shooting correctly, you can't move your head much, so you just got to be stiff like this.
Right.
So people just think you're who's the weird guy with the 2 dudes with the mustaches, and then they're like, these guys, the fucking Zubaz pants or whatever. Then you look over, and it's just me staring like this, filming it, and then panning over to somebody else.
Yeah, because you can't really see what you're shooting out of those glasses.
No, you just
back in the day you couldn't.
You can kind of gauge by where the frame is of the glasses that you can see.
Yeah.
And you just kind of figure it out where you have to be to frame it up correctly. It takes thought. A lot of people put them on and they talk with their heads in their hands, but they forget they're using them, and so that's why they're not popular.
Right.
Because people forget to shoot with them.
I think they're more popular now. They're around a lot more now than they used to be, and you can get them real cheap now too.
Yeah, you can. You can get some good stuff.
You guys had another pretty great, epic prank, I would say, that went perfectly wrong for you guys when you were doing BuzzKill with Whitney Houston, Isaac Mizrahi,
yes,
and the MTV Video Music Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody. Shaq was even there.
Shaq was involved.
We met Shaq. We met Jamie Lee Curtis. We actually met Chris Farley. We went when we were doing BuzzKill. Eventually, we were doing the show called BuzzKill, and just segue to that. So, eventually we made a show. We got noticed, and somebody gave us money to make a show called BuzzKill on MTV, and one of our actors looked exactly like Isaac Mizrahi at that time in his life. They just looked so much alike. It was crazy. If you just put a pair of sunglasses on him and a bandana, that's him. That's
maybe
the guy.
Right clothes too. Doesn't he have to have the right?
At the time, Isaac pretty much wore just these white shirts and these black pants.
Right.
And that was his look that everybody knew him for. And
so you could pick that look up at Ross for 1999.
Anywhere, yeah. You can just get that outfit. It's not a hard costume. We went down to Miami with him actually once. The first time we ever tried the character, and we took him to Miami, and we told people that Isaac was having an impromptu fashion show on the beach. And so we just talked to all these there's back in the day in Miami. I mean, maybe it's still like that, but it used to be supermodels and model wannabes from November to March or something like that. They would all be down there shooting, and that's when you get cast and stuff and whatever. So we were down there right in the prime time, and we were just telling people like, yeah, we need some models for this, and like they were all just lining up to like walk in Isaac's fashion show. And so then they meet him, and they're like all kissing his ass, thinking he's Isaac, and he's like, yeah. So then he's like, all right, here's the fashion show. It's like the apocalypse has happened, and so we're just using like whatever we can to wear as clothing. So he's like literally putting like toilet seats over people's necks and like hanging maps on them and stuff. And, and they're totally like, yeah, this is great, and just buying it and kissing his ass and telling him how much they loved it, the idea and whatever. I mean, it was a cool little art piece, aside from whatever the hell it was at all. But
right.
But anyway, the character fucking works. People just believe it. So we took him to the MTV Movie Awards and walked him down the red carpet, and like everybody bought it. There's this one guy who was like, showed Isaac a picture of his princess from like Venezuela or some country. He's like, this is the princess of my country. What do you have to say about her fashion? And he was like, she needs to get a new look or something like that. And it just like walked away, and the guy was like, fuck, with the camera and everything on him.
Yeah.
He just blew up somebody's princess. But so he was just like on
a selfie, when you carried a selfie, but it was in a form of a picture and a picture frame.
Yeah.
And you had to carry it in a bag. What was the guy doing with a picture of his wife?
He was just a red carpet correspondent, and he was from Venezuela, and he's like trying to see what the stars think of his princess of his country. And Frank just like shit on her. It was, I can't remember exactly what she said, but he was just like, bleh. And the guy was, the look on his face was just like stunned, because this was, going on TV, I guess, whatever. But doesn't Peter look like he's being like tied and gagged? He looks like he's like been kidnapped, and he's forced to watch this show.
Yeah, Peter makes exactly 10% of every acting job you do, right?
Yes. I'm actually, you guys just booked me for like Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah, on Fameless.
Yeah, I have to give him money from it.
Yeah. So you're a real tough negotiator there, Peter.
So what are we talking about? What do we need? Where are we at here?
Talk about the MTV Music Awards and what happened with Isaac Mizrahi, Imposter, Frank Hooditz, and you and Dave Sheridan.
He goes by, his professional name is now Hud Monaco.
Oh.
I don't know if you know that. That changed.
I don't know anything about that.
That changed in '98. It's been that way for a while. Actually, I don't even know what it is. Now it's like DJ Hud, I think. He DJs. Does like drum and bass kind of stuff, jungle.
We'll bring him in and talk to him. It's been almost.
Can you Skype? Can we get Skype fed into this thing?
Yeah, we can get Skype up here probably at some point. Not today.
Oh, okay. So
I got to bring my engineers back to take care of it.
Yeah, you should Skype him in for a show.
Yeah, I got 4 guys working on it already.
We went to the MTV Movie Awards with Fake Isaac, and everybody just bought it, hook, line, and sinker. Jamie Lee Curtis came up and like thanked him for a dress that he made for her, and he's just like, giving her kisses and hugs and like, okay, whatever. And we don't only spend like so much time with people because,
yeah, you don't want to get caught.
Yeah, so it'd be like, he's got to keep moving. He's got to keep moving. And so like we met Shaq, we met David Spade actually. I remember like pulling on David Spade's collar. I had the glasses cam, and I'm like filming him right in the face. I'm like pulling on his collar, telling him how cute this collar was. Because I was like a fashion hanger-on. Me and Dave both played like these other fashion guys that were just hanger-ons of Isaac's entourage.
Isaac's entourage, right.
Yeah, that was us. So anyway, apparently there was this rule that nobody goes near there's no filming Whitney Houston backstage. It's like a big.
That's a rule.
That's a rule that she made. Yeah, she's like, that's my rule. That's not happening. Whatever, right? So they're like, yeah, okay, cool. Nobody fucking made that happen.
So that's a rule that she made with MTV to go to the MTV Music Awards.
I would imagine, yeah. She said,
okay.
Here's the deal. I don't want anybody filming me behind the scenes. So she fucking walks up. She sees Frank and thinks it's Isaac, and she comes running up screaming, and he's just like already being like bombarded by some other people. And so he turns around and he sees her and he goes, Whitney, ah! And so they're like dancing around with each other and like kissing each other on the cheeks and stuff. and I'm filming it with the glasses cam. I'm like running around the circle as they're doing it, like getting this like circular shot. And Dave was filming it with another camera that looked like just a personal home video camera, like he was like filming Isaac behind the scenes himself or whatever.
Right.
And some lady grabs me by the arm. She goes, "That's not Isaac." And I go, "Yes, it is," or something like that. And she's like, "No, this is BuzzKill. I know who you guys are. That's not Isaac." And this is like already how he'd already like kissed and hugged Whitney, and like they even recreated some shit because Dave pretended he didn't get the shot. So like there's like she's totally like doing stuff on camera with this guy, and she goes, "Who authorized this?" And I just met the president of the network, like in the green room.
The president of MTV at the time.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
And his name is Tom Freston. I don't know if he still is or not.
I have no idea.
She goes, "Who authorized this?" I go, "Tom Freston." And she goes, "What?" And she like leaves and goes, I guess, asks him, like he's down in the green room over here in some studio or whatever. And so we're just like sort of back to it. And like all of a sudden she comes running up again and she's like shutting it down. And somebody goes up to Whitney and tells her that that's not Isaac. He's an impersonator. Yeah. And Whitney blows up. And she realizes we had been filming it too and all this stuff. So they totally shut us down. Whitney like fucking takes off and gets in a limousine and like never works with MTV ever again, basically.
Now, was this before the MTV Music Awards or after?
This is after. She had already performed.
Okay.
She was like done with her performance.
So she was probably on her way out soon anyways.
That was the performance on, if you Google it and look it up, she looks terrible. Like she was all cracked out at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She was like sweaty and she looked like she was hurting, really skinny and whatever. So
yeah, it's a rough situation.
So it wasn't a good time, bad timing. And they ran into each other and just fucking thing happened. So they get all pissed off at us and everybody just kind of throws us under the bus.
Right.
And it's like, "Oh, what? I don't know what happened. These guys are crazy. You can't stop them. They'll never do what we tell them to do or whatever." And it's like, what? We didn't even want to come to the movie awards. They made us go to this thing.
Yeah.
And so we got in a bunch of trouble. They said they could never air the footage, and they were all mad at us and all this crap. And then like it was funny because like that was the end of our first season. We'd finished. That was like our last episode. Was like came back to LA and did an episode, and they were like scolding us in the office like on Monday kind of thing, and they're like, "You guys always push the envelope. Everything we ask you to do, you take it. You go too far."
Right.
And it's just like, that's why people watch the show, though. Do you understand that? Like, you know, they wanted us to like just blow up a cake at the beach house and run out, and we're like, no, we're not gonna do that. If we're going all the way out to Malibu to do this, we're gonna, someone's getting thrown in the pool at the very least. So, they just always wanted us to like do one thing. We would amp it up and do our job. I felt anyway. So they're like, we're gonna give you one more chance. Like you got 13 more episodes. Don't fuck it up or some shit.
It's pretty good. You must be rich now.
Oh yeah, I was so rich that I almost had to move back in with my parents when that show was over.
Did you get created by credit on that show? Like what was the deal on that?
Dave went and did it without even telling me and Frank that he was going to do that, and it just appeared in the credits. We were like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing, that we were even competing, that you could ask for that."
Oh, so Dave got created by credit.
Yeah, because he went and made sure he got it, but never told us he was going to do that. And we were just kind of like, "Oh, okay."
Right.
So, anyway.
Huh.
Yeah.
So that means a BuzzKill reunion could still be in effect at some point in time.
It's called show business, not show friends.
Who taught you that line?
I think Jeff Boggs actually told me that line.
Good reference. We'll have Boggs on too at some point.
Jeff Boggs worked in Hidden Camera where me and Damon met.
So what else do you want to talk about? I mean,
I don't know.
BuzzKill was kind of your start, right? And then you Well, we actually met on Spy TV back in 1999.
Yeah. I mean, is this you just want to hear my resume or what? Is that what we're
Whatever
doing?
you want to talk about. Just talking about pranks. You don't have to give me your resume.
I mean, I could keep going, but I think we'll fill up a whole hour.
Well, what do you
before
want to
I'm
talk
done.
about then?
What am I doing on Tuesday?
I don't actually know.
You don't?
Nope. And I would not talk about that.
Oh, you're
anyways.
probably not allowed to.
I can't talk about that right now.
Right.
Um,
They hired me for Tuesday. I'm
but
working on
it's a
Fameless.
big prank.
Is it?
They're all big.
How much you spending? They're all big now?
Oh, they're all big now. It's going to be a big season. They are big.
Yeah, we met on Spy TV. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, back in 1999. What do you want to talk about? You were a fresh-faced
what was your
kid. You
favorite
came in. You didn't like to audition for anything.
I didn't. I never have. I don't.
You
I
didn't really
still don't
like
like
to-
auditioning.
You didn't really like to write. You just would scratch stuff down on a piece of paper with coffee stains on it and hand it over to the writer's room and go, something like this. I'll see you on Tuesday. And then you'd walk out of the room. That more or less sums it up.
I
was-
would come up with a lot of great bits and let other people type them up. That was my MO. I pitch a great bit and then be like, "Who wants to write that up?" And I just let them take it.
Yeah.
'Cause I wanted to do as little typing as possible. My whole thing was just inspire others on that show. That was all I really cared to do.
Yeah.
And then not go to Vegas while you guys were sweating it out. I was like in San Diego shooting at the beach. We had to do some beach bits. That's where I did Rude Fish.
Yeah, I know Rude Fish. I just watched it the other day.
Did you? What do you
Yeah.
think? Does it still hold up?
Somebody was asking me about Spy TV and what's Spy TV, and I said, well, I'll show you a clip. And I was looking for the car piece where we drove the kid all around Las Vegas in the backseat of a car.
Yeah.
But Rude Fish is in the beginning teases of that episode.
Okay.
So it was just a highlight.
Sweet.
The kid goes, oh, I remember that fish. I remember that thing talking. I go, really? Nobody else does.
That bit, I'll tell you what, that bit was controversial. I have to say.
Believe me, if you were on the microphone, I know it was controversial.
No, it was controversial because NBC was like, "This bit's not funny," and Jeff Boggs was like, "No, this bit's funny. We know this is good. This bit does well." And they're like, "No, this isn't funny. This isn't good enough to be on the show or whatever."
Yeah.
And so they're like, "No, you don't understand. This bit is very funny, and we think it needs to be in the show, like right at the top of 2, or whatever." And they're like, "You have to. If you really believe that, then you have to." They were doing some testing, I guess, some market testing.
Yeah.
With some other bits, and they're like, "You have to put this in." Oh, look at that!
Sorry, I just found that talking fish.
He's like, "You got to put this in and play it, right?" So they mixed it in with a couple other bits that they showed people, and the thing tested higher than Frasier. That's what Jeff said. He said it tested higher than Frasier.
Now,
So they spent $40,000 to realize that something they thought was not funny was testing higher than their biggest comedy at the time.
yeah.
Anyway, why did I even go down that road?
You hate executives?
No, I don't hate executives. I it's just stuff like that is so frustrating.
What, testing stuff before they send it out to know if it's good or not?
I don't know. Just having opinion by committee instead of opinions.
Yeah. Quite a topic.
Huge topic. We can go down that. We're gonna go down that wormhole. No.
No.
All right. What are we at? Sorry, I keep getting off track. Am I have terrible?
So what,
guests or
Spy
what?
TV? I don't know. You said you want to talk about Spy TV. That's
Spy
where we
TV.
met. And
Favorite story. What was your favorite? What was a good time for you on that?
I like the car bits. I like being out
Yeah.
at the track. We did that Las Vegas Speedway. Limo got on the wrong way.
Any misfires or any things that you remember that were hilarious
No,
or look back now on and be like, wow.
there's a lot of funny things, but nothing that was hugely life changing.
Oh, So I do.
Oh, really?
Yes.
On Spy? I'd love to hear it.
Oh, do you remember Motel Surgery?
Oh, I do remember Motel Surgery, but I was not involved in that.
That's probably what everybody says. Like, yeah, I worked on Spy TV, but I did not do Motel Surgery.
Yeah, I did not do Motel Surgery. Did you direct that bit?
That was like my first step into like the bigger bits kind of realm on Spy TV because
Right.
I was doing all the sort of field shit, where we were just shooting out of vans and more guerrilla with it, like when you were with me when we tried to jump the store
Yeah.
as El Diablo, and I had the motorcycle and
Yeah.
we put a ramp in their parking lot. Like I went from doing bits like that, shooting out of vans and shit, to finally like having a quad split to look at.
Right.
Having a control room,
In a second-story apartment in Venice.
No, in a seedy motel in Santa Monica, like the last of the shitty section of Santa Monica. We were shooting. What we were doing was okay. So then they give me my big break as a director on a show or whatever. I'm like, cool. And they're like, you're gonna do. They told me what I'm gonna do. They're like,
and Doug Stanhope was in this bit too.
yeah,
Doug Stanhope was one of the doctors, wasn't he?
yeah. They said you're gonna work with this guy Jeff Norman and this guy Doug Stanhope.
Right, Jeff Norman too. Sure.
And I don't think I had met either of them yet. So I met them that morning. And Doug, I believe they wrote this bit. They pitched a bit to Spy TV that was order pizzas, just randomly order pizzas from any fucking store.
Yep.
When the guy shows up, we'll be dressed as doctors with a girl on an operating table doing back alley surgery. And we'll get him to come in and help us because we'll be like, in the woods with this girl's like surgery, like something's going wrong. So
and I think Doug Stanhope wanted to do it with a cigarette in his mouth, operating over the guy.
I probably let him do it at one point.
Yeah,
we probably did.
I feel like that was another part of.
I always let
day.
shit happen. I was just like, let's just try different things. Once you get it, it's like, well, if we still got to be here, let's fucking go for it. But, yeah, they were just like, so yeah, you got this guy Doug Stanhope, and you guys are gonna go fake people out with fake surgery in a seedy motel. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And so every guy that showed up bought it, and because our guy Oscar, our production designer Oscar Ablerne, made this amazing torso piece of like a cavity with like organs in it, and it just looked real. Looked like the girl was splayed open on a table with like pig skin peeled back. And so when they came walking, when they would order the pizza guy would come walking into the room, and they'd be like, come on, put it on the table, so they'd have him in the room, and then they'd kick the door shut, not like fucking standing in between the guy and the door, but you just hit it with his foot.
Yeah, he just
shut the door
politely.
Yeah, and then the guys be like holding the pizza and turn around, and they see this like torso, and like so I had this I had like a heart EKG machine that we had a control of it, so I'd make it start speeding up, and then it starts flatline. The girl starts. I'm like telling the actress, I'm like, start convulsing. She starts convulsing on the table, and they're like, get in here, we need your help. And the guy's like, oh, my hands aren't clean. They're like, get in here, we don't have time. And they're like, oh Jesus, like push down on this. And these guys are like reaching in and putting their fucking hands on these fake, they were like organs from like a cow or something like that, but they're like pushing on it and like trying to hold leaks and stuff.
Yeah, they were getting their hands in there and getting dirty.
Yeah. So we even Doug gave the guy a scalpel and he made an incision into a condom that was full of blood, and it looked like a gallbladder. And he's like, I need you to make the incision right here. And the guy like takes the thing and he cuts the gallbladder, and it just goes blah, everywhere. Just fucking all blood inside of her like torso cavity. It's insane. Some of the things that we've done, like I like to just consider it to be insanity theater, basically. But,
right. Well, Spy
it's
TV was pretty tame too.
Bullshit. That show had all kinds of fucked up stuff on it.
On the first season, it did. On the second
man.
season, it got much more tame.
Yeah, I guess. I don't remember.
You don't think so?
I don't even remember. I never even watched it after like they got rid of Michael Ian Black. I was like, ugh.
Those are that's the way it goes.
Those are the golden days with Michael Ian Black.
Yeah, Michael Ian Black for Ali Landry. They made a choice.
Yeah.
And they put it in a studio.
Yeah.
instead of the back
People
of a
used
truck.
to hate the truck thing so much that it just gave me so much joy to like watch people be so angry at the truck idea, because he pretended that he was like broadcasting from this truck rolling around America.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They're like, "This is bullshit. I fucking hate it." And he was all smug about everything.
Yeah,
I thought he was genius.
he had a pizza delivered to it one time.
He was hilarious. Michael Ian Black kicked ass.
What else? You want to talk about scare tactics? You directed, you did some writing on that, you acted in that.
I didn't even finish Motel Surgery. I can't get through a thought, it seems.
Well, let's hear what's the end? Is there a special ending that I don't know about?
Yeah, so like the guys are watching the surgery go down and getting involved, and this one guy comes in, and so everybody had been like, like freaked out, like putting their hands in trying to help, and like people running out the door. And I have Jesse Fleiss, who's like, he now shoots The Bachelor or All Around the World or whatever. I had him with like a little DV cam at the bottom of the stairs, running alongside them as they came running down the stairs, all freaked out. Because eventually we would let him go, like, okay, go. She would like die or whatever, and they would be like, keep the pizza. Like they would try to like, at the end they'd be like, okay, well, how much do we owe you for the pizza? And these guys were like, no. Or if they did want money, they would like make it confusing with like $100 bill. And like whatever. And so anyway, these guys were just like they were just run out of there. They're like, we're done. Like, I got to get out. So Jesse was chasing them or whatever. And that's when we invented the PA chase cam.
Leave him outside and wait for the mark to run out the door.
Yeah,
and then
that
chase him.
mark's going to be a runner.
Because you're not legally allowed to lock the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
You can shut the door but not lock it.
Yes. You can't
know.
You can't hold the door. You can't lock the door. But if there's two doors in the room, I think you're cool. Just like one has to be unlocked.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to go on record.
It's all about
talking
blocking.
About that.
It's all about blocking. You just you have to block the scene so that they. You can stand in between them and the door. You just can't touch them. If they want to walk towards that door, you don't stop them. They'll just walk. You
can't grab people.
You can't. They'll walk right through you. If they only knew, they could walk right through you. Anyway, so runner cam was invented.
Yeah, but what's the other part of that story that you got?
So the other part of that story is all of a sudden this one guy comes in and he's just like, he's just like holding his pizza and he's just like, yeah, and like. So I tell them in their ears, I'm like, you guys just be like the fucking Three Stooges for all I care, because this guy's not buying it. And they're like, okay. And they start acting wackier and wackier and just being the biggest they've ever been the whole time of the day, just like over the top characters. And the guy like all of a sudden turns and he runs to the fucking window, which is behind a curtain. And I think he was just like, he was moving so fast that he thought he was opening the window, but he basically did was shut the window, but had the plan to go out that fucking window. But his whole time he's just like
dead.
Then all of a sudden he's just like, we're like, whoa. That's a survival shit. Like, he lives in a bad neighborhood, obviously.
And
he just has to play tough all the time.
He went through the second story window.
So he kicks out the window, and I think I'm guessing it's because he was like, I remember seeing a van like right underneath this thing.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what was going through his mind.
I don't know. I mean, why not just go to the door? I don't know. So Hero fucking kicks out the window and climbs through the shit and jumps onto our production van. And we're like actually underneath the thing in a carport with like a fucking... We're using the production van actually as a wall. Our control room was in a carport directly underneath the room.
Right.
We were running all our cables through the bathroom window and, down to our control room underneath the whole thing. So we see the thing happen and we're like, what the fuck? And then like you just hear glass raining down like right behind like where this thing is, just and we're like, ah! And you hear like landing on the van and like fucking climbing off. The dude just goes running off. And we're like, holy shit. It's like, it was the wildest, like, I remember just being like, that's it. I guess I'm going back to wherever my parents live in Florida and living there.
Crazy, huh?
I thought I was like, well, I'm done.
Yeah, you never know what people are going to do. when they get stuck in those situations. What's
Yeah.
going to happen?
Yeah.
It's rough.
So that was the olden days, the old west of hidden camera. Because I mean,
Yeah, you could
a
just
network
call up-
show allowed its people to fucking call pizza men and fuck with them.
Yeah, just call anybody. Unsuspecting. It's changed a lot.
You know, it wasn't my idea. Someone said, "This is what you're gonna do." I'm like, "Okay, that's what I do for a living."
Yep. Right. Yeah. Did that air that way with the guy on the?
Yeah, it was on TV. Him jumping out the window.
Oh, they aired it that way.
Yeah,
huh?
we put it in a cut, and it's
I'm
just
gonna
they
see
just
if it's
said,
on.
"Okay."
I wonder if it's online anywhere.
It is online.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can find.
Type in Spy TV Motel Surgery. I've seen it.
Why is that chair up there? That chair is up there. That's Travis's manager.
Yeah, why are you being so silent, Peter?
Who's Peter?
Peter Guest, my manager, in the chair.
Oh, he is being quiet, isn't
He's
he?
being very quiet. He looks content, though, for someone who's got a bungee cord strapped to their face.
Hard to tell. It still looks like it's still up and running, this podcast.
Oh, are we working?
Just
Though we never did any Periscope questions. Did you want to do any of that?
no, this has a whole other chat section over here.
Is anybody chatting? Is anybody watching this?
Yeah, Hannah Banana says, "Wait, why is that chair up there?" That's your manager, Peter, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Let's see if I can find that Spy TV bit.
Hannah Banana, that is, in case you didn't know, that is my manager, Peter Guest. We just met when I sat down and he signed me. I've heard great things about him.
He gets 10% of every check
Is that what managers get?
or more.
You have a manager?
No, I do not. Up there it is. I'm going to put this over here on the side. It's Michael Ian Black. He's in a van.
Down by the river.
Put that up on the side over here.
Oh, this has got some good acoustics on this
Take a look at that.
microphone. Oh, I guess that's as low as I can go.
What else? You want to talk about Scare Pewdiepie, Fameless?
Well, yeah, go ahead, ask me anything.
Talk about Scare Pewdiepie. You worked with the one and only
Dave Stores,
Dave Stores and the one and only
Damon Zwicker,
and the one and only
Kevin Healy,
and the one and only
John Stashenko,
Don't forget Joe. Well, the one and only.
Joe Warson.
But talk about that project. That was a big project.
It was. Are we gonna do it? How'd that do?
I don't know.
How do you not know? You were like the executive producer.
No, I am not the executive producer.
Co-exec. Were you co-EP on
I
that?
was not the co-executive producer.
What were
either.
you? What were you?
I think I landed somewhere in a supervising producer role.
Interesting. And talents at the same time.
Well, the talent was after, I think, because I had to go back in and do some stuff.
So are you AFTRA now?
Yeah.
SAG-AFTRA or whatever?
That's right.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a role for me?
Are you doing that on Fameless too?
Do you have a role for me?
Yes, I do.
Great.
Yes. See,
It's a Domino's pizza delivery man going into a motel surgery bit down in the bad part of Santa Monica.
no, it's just
The one bad block of Santa Monica.
it's just a Kaiser role.
A Kaiser roll. I don't know what that means. So
It's
we'll
a type.
talk about
Kaiser is a type of roll, like a sourdough
Kaiser,
roll
like a
or
bread roll.
Yeah, bread roll. That's the only roll I got for you right now.
What else? Talk about Scare Pewdiepie.
Scare Pewdiepie.
Did you like that show?
I did.
How was it working with Pewdiepie? Pewdiepie.
I don't know. I didn't really work with him. I just kind of watched him because like we sort of had him in this we had him prisoner basically. You know, we didn't. I mean, you guys worked with him. We were hiding from him the whole time and hardly.
Now you talked to him quite a bit, though. I mean, I loved him. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
When we worked with him. He was terrific.
Yeah.
For all the stuff we put him through. I mean, he did a great job. He showed up on time every day and was really happy to be there and a lot of fun. But
yeah,
you want to talk about?
I would have liked to have been around him more. Like he's definitely an awesome dude.
You got to set up basically all the games that PewDiePie would be going through.
Yes.
For that show.
I got to take this off. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, it's getting warm. I got to put the air conditioner on.
You got one in here?
Yeah, it's got to get installed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like one of those freestanding ones?
It's right over there. It's on the floor. It's going to go up. You know how hot it gets in the valley in the summertime?
Yeah.
Yeah, for beautiful downtown Burbank. They'll burn you up.
Burbank!
But talk about Scare PewDiePie. Which of the episodes, I guess you would say, was your favorite to direct? Like which game?
Oh, man. My favorite game. I really enjoyed. I liked the paintball one. Thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was episode close to the end, huh?
I don't know how they've.
I don't know what it was either, what episode it was, but
that was fun because we just. I mean, the one thing I don't know if people understand this or not. Like, I've seen some stupid comments where people think it's fake. And you're like, it's how is it fake? It's a fucking,
Well,
like
he signed up for it. I mean,
yeah,
it's not a hidden camera show. He knew he was going to go into the video games. We just would.
I think they think that like he was part of like they don't believe that he's really, dropped in with his blinders on and has never seen the room. It's like they think he was like set the whole thing up and then pretended to. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's
they
not
think he was in on the behind the scenes shit or whatever.
No, he wasn't in on behind the scenes. But what we did ask him for was a list of games that he might like to be inserted.
Yeah, that he would recognize as he gets put in there.
Yeah, and so we couldn't take a lot of those games and directly copy them.
Yeah.
So we had to do little twists and tweaks to make them different from what that actual game is, which is more fun anyways. I mean, they're not. They are nowhere near the level of what those actually games are an homage to, or a what's another word for an homage? An inspiration. I mean, those games were an inspiration for a lot of those, I guess, but not the exact replica.
I liked one. So I liked the paintball episode where we just shot the shit out of them.
Right, because the paintball episode was basically it was a first person shooter game.
Yeah.
That he went in and they were actually real paintball pellets getting shot.
Yeah.
At the Pewds.
Did you ever see? Did he have any bruises or anything after that?
Oh yeah, he had bruises. He got hit, I think, in the back or in the arm.
And then we pranked him again after that. So we send him through a paintball war. He gets shot like 150 times or so.
He gets shot by professional stuntmen.
I know.
Shooting real
like
paintball
badass
guns.
guys.
Not like the ones you buy at Toys R Us. Like the real CO2
yeah, it was the real deal.
paintballs.
Oh my god. He was getting fucking nailed at one point.
The screams that you hear are absolutely real.
Who goes to paintball? First of all, whoever goes to paintball where it's you versus like 10 guys.
Yeah. Now imagine walking into a paintball festival or whatever you call it, a match.
Yeah.
Without even
Prior
knowing
knowledge that that's what you were doing.
That's what you're walking into.
Yeah. You come in, somebody puts blindfold on you,
and away you go.
So I really enjoyed anytime we actually really put him to his push him to the limit, and he would always just like take it. It was awesome. Like what he was doing was really cool. And that one, and I like the one where we told him he was going to do some online press thing, and then next thing you know, it turned into like
the haunted house.
Yeah, we
version
built like a crazy little world go through all the different scary rooms. It's less of a game, it's just like a maze, but
yeah, well, we
I
still
like that.
electrocuted him in that piece.
I guess that was where the game started, when you actually had to find the key or something like that.
Yeah, dumped him into some type of
surgery.
Some type of
covered him in goo.
Yeah, but I'm sure it was not biohazard.
Oh no,
material. I'm sure it was not.
No,
I'm sure it was not the real biohazard material.
I don't know. I think it was just like petroleum.
Yes, he was probably fine.
He'll probably live.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure it wasn't from a farm
No.
It probably
know.
wasn't from a farm.
You'll have to bring Joe Warson in and interview him
Yeah,
about
Joe
that.
might have to talk about what was actually in that mixture.
They still call him Jumpin' Joe Warson?
I think that they do.
So what are you known as in this business?
What do you mean? I'm a guy who likes to talk to people about professional pranks. That's it. No, I've done pranks for a long time, since Spy TV back in 1999.
Yeah, shouldn't we be talking about your career?
It'll all come out sooner or later. Always does.
Actually, your career and my career have been a lot of the same shit anyways.
Yeah, lots of the same things.
Like, deal with it.
Oh, deal with it. I forget about deal with it a lot. It was
Right.
so fast, I think. Yeah, deal with it. With the lovely and talented,
Howie Mandel.
and the lovely and talented,
Dave Storrs.
and the lovely and talented,
Mike Harney.
and the lovely and talented,
Gina Gershon. I don't know. I don't know.
Tom Kramer, and the lovely and
Oh,
talented.
Tom Kramer,
Doug
yes.
Perkins.
Oh, yeah.
Of
course.
Yeah, how'd you like deal with it?
It was cool. It was fun. For me, it was like, sometimes it was just like,
You only
I was
acted.
just, no,
in
I was a
Deal
camera
With It.
guy on it once.
Oh, you're a camera guy. You
remember?
shot some stuff too.
Yeah, I worked on it for like a couple of weeks as a camera guy at like the end of one of your seasons, which was fun. Uh-oh.
What happened?
What's that? What's all that snow on the right side?
Oh, yep, something happened. Okay, so it appears as though the YouTube stream is down at 51 minutes. And it's back up. Seems like it's back up. Still not too bad.
Wait, you're live again?
I think so. This is the live broadcast window. Maybe something just happened. I don't
Okay.
know.
So, anyway, we're coming back, I guess. I'm going to host this intro, okay?
Yeah, do it.
My name's Travis Draft. You're here at ProPrankster.com. Sitting here being interviewed by Damon Zwicker, the proprietor of ProPrankster.com. And over here, this is my agent, Peter Guest, who we've kidnapped and made to watch us talk about stupid things. Like hidden camera. Which isn't stupid, it's fun. And that's a graphic with my name.
And it tells exactly what you do.
Am I slouching? I'm like, "Argh."
Yeah, I slouch too. These chairs maybe need to get reworked a little bit.
Okay.
So deal with it. Talk. Which one did you were a camera operator and an actor? You liked it? I love working on that show. It was great.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Just being able to, just being a camera guy on it was fun, actually. I really enjoyed doing that for a while. Just listening to program, and you'd hear them, egging these people on and telling them to do things, and just, it was just a great experience. It's like a good little mix-up of game show and hidden camera. I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, and comedy too.
And comedy, yeah.
A lot of comedy.
Tons of comedy.
Which was great.
But as an actor, I would show up, and sometimes my bit wouldn't even happen. And I would just, you couldn't complain about that either. I would get paid to just not even do anything sometimes.
When I first started that show, I'm trying to think if I did the pilot. I think I did the pilot, and then we got into the series, and Howie Mandel was there every single shoot.
Yeah.
He was the first one there, and he was usually hanging around even when other people were wrapping stuff out.
You didn't think he was going to be around all the time?
I didn't know, but I know it was great. I mean,
Yeah.
when he was around, it was incredible. Just there are a lot of people who have their names on shows who don't necessarily work on them, I think, as hard as Howie worked on that show.
Yeah.
When it was running. I mean, he was there all the time.
I worked on the pilot with you guys. I was a camera guy on the pilot.
Yeah, we shot that over at the deli.
Yeah.
Cantor's.
Yeah. Was that it? Would you just do one bit? Was that the pitch?
I think we shot 3 bits that day. They were each a little bit different.
But was that it for the pilot, though? Was it just a one-day shoot?
Yeah, I think it was just a one-day shoot.
I remember being like, oh, this show's going to go. It's got to go. It's it's too perfect.
Yeah, it had everything.
Yeah.
But did you like to act on that show? Because acting on that show was a little bit different. Because not a whole lot of improv. Like, you kind of already knew what you were going in to do.
I mean,
all the game rules and the legal issues and all that stuff.
yeah. that stuff didn't really apply to stuff I was asked to do, but like, honestly, I feel like I sat around rather than. I feel like I was in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For that show, a lot of
there was even bits that there was a one bit I did like where it was a full bit. I don't even think it made the show.
Yeah.
Remember when you had me in the gym and I was working out? It was like Eric Andre was.
Yeah, I don't think that ever made the show.
Yeah, that didn't even ever air. Like I feel like, I mean, for me, I feel like I was more of a camera guy on that show than an act. Even though I acted in a couple bits, I played like a pimp once or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. There weren't a lot of huge acting roles in that
No,
because
they're quick. You kind of come
the
in.
person coming in is the one who
Yeah.
is going to be doing most of the acting.
Yeah, you're
And then
just
it's
a
like-
beat kind
yeah.
of thing. Like I was a level, like you're level 4. Now pimp comes in and asks for his money back.
Right.
But it doesn't really have. It wasn't like a big role for me ever on that show. The one time that I actually got a meaty piece with Eric Andre and the weightlifting or whatever, that one didn't make it. So, I like the show though. It was great. I like Theo Vaughn is awesome too.
Yeah, Theo's got more stories than anybody I know.
Yeah, he'll say the randomest funny shit to you. Also, that's like. Is this real? Is that his real life he's telling you? Or
Yeah.
is he joking or what?
Well, I think he'd love that show too because he always showed up happy
Oh, yeah.
every time. You know.
No, it was a good vibe. That whole show was a
Yeah,
good
the
vibe.
whole show was good. It was great. I mean, it's just
Everybody working, everybody on the crew was tight and fun.
Yeah, and everybody had a good time, which is
It was hard work, too. I mean, as a crew guy, I remember moving a lot of gear every fucking day.
well, that's what you do.
Yeah. I mean, that was a lot, though. I mean, there was a lot to do.
Yeah, talk to Steve Canis
Setting
about
up
it.
that fucking control room and the friends control room area and the set.
Yeah.
That was also a behind-the-scenes set and tearing it down by the end of the day. But it was
It's no
going to a
joke.
whole new location and figuring it out again. I mean, there's a lot of work.
So
Especially the load out. Is the
I'm
worst
going to
part.
end this at an hour. I want to try and keep it to an hour, I think.
Oh, this new section?
Well, the whole thing is that
This
we're
new-
at 57 minutes.
Okay.
I don't want to overtalk, you know. I want to know it's an hour long podcast. There you go. Listen or don't listen in. But I want to ask you, what is your favorite prank bit that you've ever seen or been in? Favorite bit of all time?
Oh, my God.
Not that hard of a question, Travis.
It's fuck, man.
How many bits you think you've been in? Over 500?
Yes, definitely. I can't answer that right now.
Well, what's one great bit? Like if you were to say to somebody, if you want to see a absolutely hilarious video in the prank world,
Yeah.
go watch this quintessential video.
For me, probably the Japanese guys getting launched down the ski slope in their underwear. Honestly, it's like it doesn't have to be like some of the stuff we try to pull off. We're trying to pull off little mini movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you just see like a guy sitting down in a sauna to relax at a ski resort. Next thing you know, he's naked and flying down a hill on a chair which got like rocket boosters. That to me is hilarious.
I would say that
Holy shit, that is hilarious.
There were a lot of high-end Japanese pranks caught on video that you could watch and laugh all day.
Oh my God.
What's a favorite bit you've ever been in?
Probably something on scare tactics, I would imagine. But I had some fun. I had my own little kingdom at Playboy at one point. They let me and my friend Nick make this fucking show, basically whatever the fuck we ever wanted to do. They let us do stuff. They're just like, yeah, guys, go ahead. Just,
And then what was the name of
don't
it?
talk about the girls in a derogatory way ever.
And the name of it
anything else you
was?
can do. It was a show on Playboy called Totally Busted.
Totally Busted.
So it was an R-rated hidden camera show. And some of the things we did there were, to me, like, I never laughed so hard in the control room.
Yeah.
Just crying. And
Because
like,
there was no real line for you guys to cross.
Well,
Like,
yeah, we could do whatever we wanted to.
Yeah.
So I guess in hindsight, I'm like, shit, like maybe the Institute for the Sexually Insane was a huge one. The Van Stone Booby Q was quite a great bit to be in as an actor.
Yeah.
And honestly, actually, when you think about scare tactics, that alien bit was pretty awesome.
in the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's epic for a lot of reasons, all of which we can't get into tonight, but another time perhaps. All right, anything else, Travis, you want to shout out to?
Shout out.
What are you doing? You got a band going now?
I'm writing something with Clarence from Nights of Monte Carlo.
Very nice.
We're putting together a very multimedia rock show experience.
Anything, you going to do some stand-up soon?
No.
No shows to promote? You got nothing going on?
I'm acting on Fameless on Tuesday.
That is true.
Can I promote that? Come look me up. Where are we going to be shooting at? Come on down.
I don't know where we're going to be. It's Sunday. Anyways, that's episode 1 of Pro Prankster, the podcast.
That was awesome.
We'll see if it's awesome. We'll see if it made it out there, and we'll see what the response is. And still some bugs to work out, but hopefully the content was okay. Until later, peace out. Laugh a little bit. Prank somebody. Boo!
Booyah, baby!
I gotta get a cowbell in here. Bring a cowbell next to... Yeah, there we go.
I gotta stay on beat.
And... Adios, everybody.